So I want to talk today about how a lot of riders, motorbike riders, and even motor enthusiasts, like for cars, rev heads, and things like that, are getting a bit worried about these bans of gasoline or petrol-powered engines that a lot of countries are taking on. But I want to talk today about how those bans might actually be better for motor enthusiasts to enjoy their gasoline or petrol-powered engines more when these bans come out. So, welcome to my channel where we talk about bikes and more. And as usual, at the end, we're gonna have a Bible verse. Actually, we're gonna have a couple of Bible verses and talk about maybe how the Bible was warning us about the future technology, and so stick around for that. So I'm sure many of you already know that a lot of countries are going to put a ban on the production of new petrol, gasoline powered engines, and by the time, mostly by 2035. Some countries a bit earlier, other countries a bit later, but it really hit home when it was announced that Canberra, or ACT in Australia here, is going to introduce the ban in 2035. But I want to highlight the main point. The ban is on new sales, sales of new vehicles. They're not going to target at this stage the ones that already exist, so they're going to continue to be used. It's just the ban of registering new vehicles. Now, I'm not against this action to stop global warming. I'm for it. I think we should stop CO2 production. Everyone should do something to stop it and to stop global warming. But I'm not convinced with the battery-powered technology, with electric engines. I'm just not convinced with some of the information that I've heard that it is really going to make a difference. Maybe other technologies like Toyota, I think, is working on a hydrogen electric generation. I think that's probably a bit more promising, and maybe other renewable fuels. But I'm definitely not on board with electric motorcycles. I think they should produce electric motorcycles, but I don't feel that it's right to ban petrol-powered motorcycles, even new ones. I think they should continue to make them. And I've got a graph. If you look at the graph here with the consumption, and you can see that the motorcycles is at 1%. So motorcycle riders like petrol-powered engines. That's why there's such a huge market in aftermarket exhausts. People want the gasoline, petrol-powered sound. People want to change gears. That's half the fun of riding a motorbike. Listening to the sound, changing the gears. And I'll tell you why, though. It's still going to be better when there is a ban. Now, you might have noticed I've been slowing down in the number of videos I've been producing, and it's because I've been busy with other stuff. And don't worry too much. It's all motorbike related stuff. One of the reasons is I've been working on my ZX6R to get it back on the road, and I've had to make a lot of stuff. Like, I made my own engine hoist to help me get the engine back in. I've got jacks and everything. I've got a motorcycle jack. I've got floor jacks. I've got everything, but I really needed this hoist, so I made a hoist. I welded it. I went into a relative's workshop and welded it myself. I've also been busy modifying some of my gear. So I'm making like just pouches, and I made some buckles, just to make it easier for me to gear up and gear down, just to make it an extra 30 seconds faster. And I've learned a lot in that process. I've learned how to hand sew, hand stitch leather. So I've been learning a lot. I've been making a lot, making my own crafts, and I think that's kind of where I'm heading at with this. And a lot of this is powered, I think, pushed by YouTube. You can go onto YouTube and learn pretty much anything, and I think it's really fueling a lot more creativity in people. I went on YouTube and I learnt to weld. I went on YouTube and learnt to hand stitch. It's not the best, but I got the idea, I got the basics, and I had enough to really solve what I was wanting to do and achieved what I wanted to get out of it. And I think people in general are getting more creative because of this. And this is what's going to be the biggest part in what's going to happen after there's a ban in gasoline powered engines. And I think this is going to be a big part in counteracting or kicking back. I mean, it's just my opinion, but I think that there's going to be a big kickback with the creators, with the creative people who want to do things the old way. And that's why I think maybe when there is a ban in petrol powered cars, that's when all of these hobbyists and creators are really gonna come in. And like I said, I don't think they're gonna completely ban any gasoline powered car on the street. All the bans that I have seen for all the countries is for brand new vehicles, and I don't think when the majority of people over the years start to go all renewable or electric, I don't think they're really gonna push to just get the rest of the cars off the street. I think people like that bit of heritage, and that's why I think they're going to continue it. They're going to continue to allow it. I mean, just like now, if you have an old car, you don't need to comply with the up-to-date safety standards. I mean, of course, you need seatbelts and things like that, which is legislation by law. But you don't need, if you have an old 60s, 70s model car, you don't need to keep up with the latest, safety standard. And you don't need, with older cars don't need to comply to emission standards. They are as they were when they were created, and that was it. And I think the same thing is going to happen when there might be a ban on new electric, cars, so they're only electric or renewable. But I think they're just going to allow the older cars to stick around, and it's going to be us, creative people, crafts people, and motor enthusiasts who are just going to keep these cars on the street and work on them and maintain them, and just keep them going. And that's why I think it's going to be more enjoyable. The second thing I think is going to happen is, if you look now, there is no real aftermarket drivetrains. There's no aftermarket engines, gearboxes, and that's because the mega car production companies do such a good job of producing drivetrains that it's not worth any aftermarket person to try and compete with this. But once they stop, that's when there's going to be a shift, and there's going to be a market shift. And I think even the machinery is going to be maybe go down smaller scale, and it's going to move to where the market is. And I think the market is going to be the hobbyist. I'm not necessarily saying the garage machining, although I think it might get there. But at least sort of medium-sized aftermarket companies, and they're just going to provide parts for people to be able to keep their petrol cars going and restore and even have it, as new. Maybe slightly modified parts, but pretty much working as they were new. And another thing is, manufacturers, they have to ban producing cars, but they don't have to stop producing parts. When I was working on my ZX6, I go on a website and I can go back to the 80s or even 70s and get OEM parts for my bike. So even with Harley Davidson, I was watching a video and there's a specific model of a Harley Davidson. I can't remember which one. They don't make the bike anymore, so you can't buy it whole. But Harley Davidson sells every part that you need, and a lot of people are just buying all the parts and building up the bike. And that's where the creators are going to come in. And at that time, in the future, when they ban gasoline-powered cars, internal combustion engines are going to be, the ancient art and the thing that people are going to preserve. We will be the people that give a breath of fresh air, or actually it's a bit of an oxymoron, a breath of fresh smog in this world or in the future world of clean, electric, renewable cars and vehicles. And we will be the ones maintaining the beauty of the internal combustion engine and the craft, and that's why I think it'll be better. So now I'll just end up with a Bible verse, which is from Revelation chapter 13, verse 15 to 18, and it says, "And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark on their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. And I find a lot of parallel with what the Bible says there. There's a bit of a grim view of the future, but I see a lot of parallel. It says, he gives power for the beast, the image of the beast, that he should speak. Now if you look at AI technology now, you could almost see a parallel there. And that no man should buy and sell without a mark of the beast or the number of his name. And a lot of people think maybe that's like a microchip that you put on your hand, but I don't actually think that mark of the beast is an actual microchip. I think it's actually more to do with this online commerce and things like that. And I think that's what the Bible is warning us about. It's warning us about artificial intelligence. It's saying, the artificial intelligence is the ultimate sociopathic decision-making machine. It's got no feelings, no love, no humanity, no compassion. And yet, it just has a set of rules of what it thinks is best for a given point of view, without any human aspect. And that's what I think. It's just my opinion. You can disagree with me if you want. I'm happy to discuss. It's just I can change my opinion, but I just think I'm just looking at how things are going, and I really think the Bible was warning us about artificial intelligence, and and not giving it the way to control our lives. So I don't want to leave you on a grim note, but I want to. So I just want to encourage you. You know, go out, show your humanity, show your creativity, show that you can make things beautiful, show that you can make things with your hand, and you can do things the old-fashioned way, and the old crafts is just so satisfying, and the beauty of it, and to go out and enjoy the beautiful world that God created on your motorbike. So yeah, that's all I've got today. So take it easy and ride safe.